Success is not a straight road. It is a journey filled with failures, doubts, setbacks, and painful moments when giving up feels easier than holding on. But there comes a turning point in every journey, a moment where one brave decision changes everything. That decision is simple: I will not quit. This is the story of a young man named Arin, whose entire life transformed the moment he refused to give up, even when everything around him told him to stop. The story: the boy with small dreams but a heavy heart. Arin grew up in a small town where everyone believed success belonged only to the privileged. People told him, "Alert, this world is not for people like us. Dream small so you don't get disappointed. Do what everyone else does." Arin wasn't born with big dreams. He just wanted a peaceful life, a simple job, maybe a little respect. But deep down, he always felt he was meant for something more, something different. Yet every time he dared to think big, fear whispered in his ear, "What if you fail?" And so for most of his early life, Arin played it safe. 2. The first setback. After finishing school, Arin applied for several jobs. Each time he faced rejection after rejection. Some employers didn't even bother to reply. Slowly, his confidence shattered. His father said, "Maybe you're not trying hard enough." His mother said, "Try something else, something easier." But Arin didn't know what to try. He felt stuck, useless, and directionless. One night, sitting alone on the rooftop, he whispered to himself, "Maybe I should just quit. Maybe success isn't for me." But something inside him resisted. A small voice said, "Not yet. Try one more time." He didn't have money to pay for it, so he worked extra hours at a local shop, saved every rupee, and finally bought the course. This was the first time in his life he made a decision purely for himself, and it felt good. Where the struggle begins. Learning the new skill was harder than Aaron expected. He stayed awake till 3 a.m. watching lessons. He made notes, he practiced daily, he failed repeatedly. But for the first time, failure didn't scare him, because now he had a direction. Still, the challenges kept coming. Wrong curve. His laptop crashed twice. His internet connection failed constantly. His family pressured him to quit and find a real job. His friends laughed, saying, "Online work? You'll earn nothing." Aaron felt hurt, but he continued anyway. Every night he repeated a new mantra: success begins the moment you decide not to quit. He sent over 90 applications. Only 3 people replied, and out of those 3, 2 rejected him. But one small client gave him a chance. The pay was low, very low, but for Aaron, it meant everything. It was a sign, a confirmation that he was moving in the right direction. He completed that project with full dedication. The client loved his work and referred him to 2 more people. A small seed of hope began to grow. Just when things were going well, tragedy struck. Aaron's father fell seriously ill. The family needed money. Aaron's relatives started forcing him to quit freelancing and take a labor job nearby. They said, "Your online dreams won't pay medical bills. This freelancing nonsense is wasting your time." Aaron was torn. Should he abandon his dream and take a quick job, or should he continue building his skills and future? It was the toughest decision of his life. After a long night of thinking, Aaron looked in the mirror and said, "If I quit now, I will regret it forever. I will work harder, do both jobs, but I will not quit." And so he did. He took a part-time job during the day, freelanced at night, slept just 3-4 hours, and barely had time to breathe, but he refused to stop. 7. The breakthrough. Months passed. Aaron's health weakened, but his skills improved massively. One day, he received a message from a foreign client who saw his portfolio. "I like your work. Are you available for a long-term project?" Aaron's hands shook nervously as he replied. The project was worth more than his entire monthly salary at the shop. He worked day and night, no distractions, no complaints, and when the client paid him, he stared at the screen in disbelief. For the first time in his life, he felt successful. He used the money to pay his father's medical bills. His family finally understood his passion. His relatives went silent. Aaron's decision to not quit had changed everything. 8. New dreams, new challenges. But success didn't mean the journey was over. With more clients came more responsibilities, bigger tasks, tight deadlines, higher expectations, more problems to solve. Sometimes Aaron felt overwhelmed. Sometimes he doubted his abilities again. But now he had learned a powerful truth. Success isn't a destination, it's a mindset. The moment you decide not to quit, you become unstoppable. 9. The moment of transformation. One evening, Aaron visited the same rooftop where he once felt lost and broken. Looking at the sky, he whispered, "Everything changed the day I didn't quit." It wasn't talent, luck, or opportunity that made him successful. It was one decision, one moment of courage that opened the doors to everything else. Now he dreamed bigger, helping people like him who were once afraid to try, and slowly, those dreams started coming true. 10. Becoming a source of inspiration. Years later, Aaron became a successful entrepreneur. People invited him to speak at seminars, students looked up to him, parents proudly told their children about his story. Whenever he shared his journey, he always ended with the same message: success does not start when you achieve something big. Success starts the moment you decide you will not quit, even when everyone tells you to, because quitting guarantees failure, but trying again even one more time opens the door to possibilities you never imagined. Conclusion. Aaron's story teaches us something powerful. Sack, you don't need to be the smartest. Sack, you don't need to be the most talented. You don't need perfect conditions. You only need one decision: not to quit. The moment you choose to keep going, despite the pain, despite the failures, despite the pressure, that is the exact moment success begins. Success doesn't come from luck. It doesn't come from shortcuts. It comes from endurance, patience, and unshakable determination. Like Aaron, your breakthrough might be one step away, one more attempt, one more lesson, one more moment of courage. So whenever life challenges you, remember this. Ian had always been the kind of person who believed life would make sense eventually. He wasn't perfect. He wasn't extraordinary, but he tried to be good, tried to be honest, tried to give love with his whole heart. Yet life had a strange way of testing those who carried soft hearts, and Ian was no exception. His story began on an ordinary day with an extraordinary heartbreak. 1. The day everything fell apart. Ian stood at the edge of the old bridge near his college, the cold wind brushing against his face. In his hand was his phone, showing a message he never expected to see. "I don't think this is working anymore. I need space. I'm sorry." Laura, the girl he trusted, the one he imagined a future with, had left him. No explanation, no conversation, just a message. His chest felt tight, as if someone reached inside and squeezed his heart with cold fingers. His eyes burned, but he didn't cry, at least not there, not with the world watching. That night, he finally let the tears fall. But heartbreak has a strange way of making someone feel like the world is ending while everyone else continues living like nothing happened. For weeks, Ian couldn't sleep. His studies slipped, his confidence shattered, and every time he looked in the mirror, he felt like he was staring at a stranger. He didn't know then this pain was the first step of something bigger than he ever imagined. When life gives you silence, Ian's friends tried to comfort him, but nothing worked. The nights were the hardest. Silence can be louder than any noise, especially when pain echoes inside you. One night, unable to sleep, he went to the rooftop. The city lights looked so far away, as if joy lived somewhere else, somewhere unreachable. His grandfather, who lived with them, slowly walked up the stairs and stood beside him. "Couldn't sleep?" the old man asked. Ian shook his head. His grandfather looked at him gently. "Pain is a strange teacher, Beta." Ian frowned. What can it teach except how to suffer? The old man smiled with a knowing sadness. Sometimes pain teaches us what happiness never could. He didn't understand it then, but he would, very soon. The first step toward healing. Ian's grandfather handed him a notebook the next morning. "Write," he said. "Every thought, every fear, every emotion."